Let's see if I can do this in about 10 minutes. Last time it was
Yeah, no,
2 hours. Okay.
this game
Um,
really good.
got DoTA open, and
Man, I
then
don't know. This game was just. Ugh.
replace.
Try not to interrupt you. I'll let you like kind of
No, it's
do your
okay.
thing and.
Let me see if I can screen share. Turn on camera. Not that camera. Turn off the camera. There we go. So it doesn't recognize whatever it is. So we got low frame rate here. You can see everything, hopefully.
Yeah, I see.
And then you were DK.
Uh,
Oh, you're right here?
yeah.
It looks so different. I've never seen that one.
Oh yeah, it's kind of why I play it.
Okay, so
Cool skin.
what kills you this game?
Um,
They have a silence, which is difficult but not impossible.
minus armor kills me. I think that Clinks will obviously bought at Deso, I think, for me. So minus armor is not fun. What else? I really don't know DK's weaknesses, to be honest. I take it
He's usually really tanky, and the only thing that really kills you is like Silver Edge.
Yeah, like break, right? Yeah.
So this is health, regen, and armor. So Deso against you isn't actually good because you have high armor.
Right.
So that's not important. It's health,
I mean, in
regen.
the early game, if it's a mid Clinks, he kind of hurts early.
Well,
But, like, as I get
yeah,
armor, it gets
yeah.
better, but...
But you have items you can build early against the Deso. Like you can go phase boots, for instance,
Ah, yes.
or you can go armlet, and that gives you options.
It's true.
So the only thing that I see that really kills you is Silver Edge or Break, and I don't know if they have that. Your attacks do more damage. 1 to 3. You get bonus move speed and attack speed. This doesn't give you extra HP. So this is your damage. This is your survivability. This is your disable, and then this is your wave clear. So you have a lot of tools, but they all kind of shit. Like they don't.
I don't know if he's good for this.
They don't.
Patch. I really don't know.
I don't think it matters if it's good for the patch, but the idea here is you take towers really well, and that's good.
Yeah.
And you have flexibility with your spells, but they don't work in conjunction. Like if you're playing a Spectre, all of her spells compound on each other and make them really strong.
I
But
don't think I took a single tower this game. I think I was just too pussy. I was playing a
yeah,
little passive.
um,
Because I got a Midas, and then I was like... They put me in the safe lane. I wasn't even playing the off lane. So what happened was...
why didn't your anti-mage go?
This
Oh, he
anti-mage
just
went off lane with
yeah,
Bard.
yeah. He
Didn't
wanted.
wanna lane against the Axe.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I was like, alright, whatever. But they fed the top. They fed the Riki.
Mm. Okay, so we know what kind of kills you. The break from the hoodwink is the biggest problem,
Yeah.
and then like recall from the disruptor, the glimpse. Those are the two
Silence is
things.
quite annoying too.
Well, yeah, but
Recall, yeah, that fucked me actually. You're right. Glimpse did
but
fuck
what
me
I'm
a lot.
thinking of is as long as you have dragon form up, you're not really worried about getting silence because once you get your spells off once, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because the fire breath it reduces some of their attack damage.
Yeah.
And then the only real damage I'd be afraid of is Axe's pure damage.
Yeah.
So the break, the pure damage, and the glimpse are the biggest problems for you. And then Ricky will build usually a diffusal for the slow, and that might kill you, but you can check on that item. So naturally they kill you with pure damage, which means you need raw HP. They hit you with break, which means you need a BKB to protect yourself from that. It's not a targeted spell, so I don't think you can build Lotus for it. I don't know if it can be purged either, so that's something I have to look at.
I think you can spell.
Hoodwink.
break it, the actual effect stats.
The
It is.
dispellable. So yes, you could technically build a Lotus or like a
Yeah,
Manta.
so I looked at these heroes and I was like, do I need a BKB? And I told myself no. I think it was greedy of me not going BKB this game.
Um,
Yeah. Because the
this
Clint killed me lots of times.
Axe Call can pierce BKB, correct?
Yes, that's why I don't typically like to
Yeah,
BKB.
and then Glimpse doesn't pierce BKB.
I don't.
I don't play enough of these heroes to know.
You gotta click and it's not piercing.
Glimpse does not. So just for the glimpse and like the slow from Diffuse the Blade, I would have gotten it for just those two. Because you can farm away from Axe, and that's not a big deal.
Yeah.
And usually you can see him coming until he gets a blink, and then even then he's not going to kill you by himself. And like the Axe slow is annoying if you get slowed by it, because then you're probably not going to be able to escape, and his team can chase you down at that point. Is there any hero on here that stops you from taking towers? Like Axe is the scary one, and then like Axe plus Ricky is probably enough to kill you.
Clinks went skeleton.
Mm-hmm.
He went the Ags, which kind of stopped
That
push it.
yeah, maybe.
Can't really naturally
So
the Ags, but
their wave clear, I don't see anything major. Like Axe doesn't clear waves very quickly. Hoodwink kinda does.
yeah,
So I don't see much from stopping you taking a tower.
you're right.
You don't really have kill potential, so who on your team is your damage? I don't know how Nyx works. I haven't seen her play or seen him played.
Pure damage, he's very good.
Okay, so then you just
Beat my damage dealership, right?
yeah, like you have plenty of damage and disable, so anti-mage should be getting free farm this whole game, and this is not enough farm for a 36-minute anti-mage game. I have played anti-mage. This is not acceptable. You grouping with any of these heroes is enough damage, and then once you get blink, you should be good. You got blink. When did you get your blink? Blink is too late.
Is it tonight?
Yeah. Skirmishes start at like 15 minutes.
Dude,
You
was eating, so I was like, yo, like I think I gotta play for the mid game.
usually
I don't know.
you're.
I don't know.
He doesn't have initiation.
You gotta blink after me.
Yeah.
Like,
So unless your axe has some way of setting up catch, you're not actually going to be able to kill people.
I hear you.
You might be able to if you're just going for towers, but you're not going to be able to make aggressive plays on people without Blink Dagger. So I think the Midas is a mistake here, because you needed it before 15 minutes so you can take those towers. Let's see if there's a throw point. 12 minutes, like 10, 12 minutes, then it just dumpstered.
Huh.
So we'll look at that. We'll look at...
I could have definitely mitigated that with the blink.
I don't know if you could, because if you said your other lanes were feeding, it would have been hard. But Blink BKB earlier would have
given some sort of chance, right?
Yeah.
Percentage.
Because they can kill you with Midas, and you have an anti-mage that wants to farm, and then you have an axe, or you have a... Was this guy mid?
He was mid Mars.
Yeah. So, like, he can still do a rotation, but he doesn't have any items. He doesn't have items. 30-minute blink. Perfect. Okay. This guy, like, you did better than this guy at the very least, but I think the Midas was a grief because you still don't do your job. If your job was to just sit in a lane and not die, then I would have gone, like, a survivability item, not BKB and not Lotus, but something that makes you tanky, maybe like a Vanguard or something, and then go Midas, and then you'd be fine. And then it's debatable whether or not you need the Midas armor.
Running the axe mostly, the whole, like, in the safe lane. Like, what I had no idea what to do. Like, I was like, he went Vanguard, and then he was like literally unkillable.
Yeah.
And I just didn't know what to do, so I was like, okay, I go Midas and just try to farm as much as I can, like try to salvage what I can from this lane. They eventually rotated bottom and killed me.
Yeah.
but I just didn't know what to do. I was like, should I stay in my lane? AM's top. Mars is not really making any rotations. I just felt like a sitting duck.
This is what I've been having trouble with in my games because nobody's making space. And then, like, I can farm for 40 minutes because there's still camps to farm, but then my teammates don't have any farm, and the enemy team has farm because they've been farming camps, and nobody on our team can contest them. So it's just, as the strongest hero in the game, you have as much farm as your mid laner. So it's like the strongest hero in the game at 10 minutes. You're 10 minutes. That's not enough farm. But it's more than these guys. You should know how to make space at the very least. So, if I go in... Yeah, the items are just weird. I don't think you have anything you can really buy on DK that lets you kill heroes. You might be able to go...
Silver Edge? I was literally considering Silver Edge. I was like, do I go this item just to kill Axe? Just to get some like pressure on this Axe? But I don't know, I just pussied out. White Midas. I think it was a bad item.
I think Silver Edge is a huge investment, especially as a position 3. And eventually, I think your anti-mage can kill him. Or, like, somebody can deal with the axe. Mars can, for sure. If you're saying Nyx is damaged, then Nyx can probably do it. Yeah, and Lion with enough disable, it doesn't matter if you kill the axe. So you have plenty of disable. You just need to not get caught in the call. Takes a while for the game to load.
I literally had to mute my entire team here. Like, they were arguing.
Yeah.
They just literally wouldn't, like...
But when you don't know what to do on your hero, it's just as bad.
Yeah.
So... I just want to see where your deaths were.
Your turn to ban.
Back to dashboard. You are this one?
Middle.
There we go. First death at 9:44, and then 20-something minutes. We can look at the laning stage if you want to talk about last hits, if you want, but I'm just going to skip and see why you're dying.
Yeah, let's just skip it to the...
Because the point of
I think I did fine with the last hits.
The point of DK, like, you can still get last hits, but you just kind of you burn them so that they don't do as much damage to the creeps, and that's your way of getting last hits over them. And then you're just trying to get 6, so you don't really care if you get last hits. You just want your level 6, and then you take their tower.
Right.
Because you don't really need any items to do that as DK. Like, it helps if you have Soul Ring, but it's not the primary idea.
I didn't put enough pressure on tower, yeah.
Player perspective. Grab you. Do you think Axe is like a kill hero, or is he a harass hero to you?
Like overall?
Yeah.
Oh, kill hero?
I would say he's more harass because he just puts the rage on you, and if you can't get CS or you have to walk up, then he hits you a couple times. He's not gonna like all in on you. He's not like a Bristle when he hits 3. He's not like, I'm going to chase you down and kill you right now and then going to farm the wave. He just kind of puts the thing on you and says, I'm going to farm the wave and you're not going to be able to stop me. Does that make sense? And if you try and hit him, then he does pure damage to you. So he's not intentionally putting kill threat on you. So if I tell you that, is this enough regen?
No.
Okay.
For sure not, no.
I don't know. I can't look at your courier.
I was not bringing... I went Midas first.
Okay, so you don't have any regen coming.
I didn't buy any items.
Okay.
I didn't buy any regen items. it's
And then stick. What was the stick for? The disruptor?
yeah.
Okay.
Really
I
don't know
don't
what's
blame
up.
you against the disruptor for the stick. But you should have more HP regen. You should have more mana regen. Like, mangoes on DK are really strong. Just because you have really high mana cost and your ultimate doesn't cost anything.
Yeah. I feel like I should have went Soul Ring.
I don't know if that's going to help you because this is a harass lane. And if you're using your HP
Yeah.
there was a BSJ video on that where it's like they harass you and then you buy Soul Ring and then you get fucked. So I think the idea is just buy more clarities or mangoes because mangoes give you HP regen and they give you a burst of mana that you can use. And you're not missing a whole lot of health, but you can't walk up now because you're 60% HP. And you have no mana to make sure this guy doesn't hit you. And if you can't secure creeps, then he just puts the Berserker's Rage on you, and then you can't get any creeps, and then suddenly you're like 10% HP. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm looking at here. Let's just speed it up and kind of see why you died. I just think you didn't know how Axe was going to lane against you, and you thought he was a kill hero, but he's more of a harass. So you get 6. I think it's a mistake to use your 6 this close to your tower. You want to push the creep wave in first with your fire breath and maybe someone else who has wave clear, and then you take their tower. But this tower doesn't really mean anything, so the only reason you would put pressure on their tower is to make someone rotate to you. And what we were talking about earlier is the person that kills you is Disruptor. So if you're going to put pressure on this tower, it's to make Disruptor TP, and then you can TP and take this tower. So since we're not planning on taking this tower, you can. You do have enough damage to do it. But the idea is to put pressure on this tower without using your ultimate, then TP to this lane and take their tower, or TP mid and take their tower. Because if Disruptor TP's here, then like they can't kill you. We're worried about Hoodwink as well, but I don't think Hoodwink's the biggest problem. Getting either Disruptor or Hoodwink or not Axe, but like anyone really to TP over here means you get this tower for free or mid for free.
Yeah, I feel like I just sat there and didn't really fucking do anything.
Yeah, and Hoodwink's already here.
I should have been thinking about that.
Yeah. You walked up to these guys at half HP. This is why you died.
Well, I don't know why my Nyx... Oh no, this was the kill, and then I think my Nyx just abandoned me here. I don't know what he was doing. He was like, I have no mana. I'm like, well,
yeah.
I died here.
But you had no mana and you had no HP. And it was a mistake earlier that you weren't bringing enough regen to the lane, but then you made it worse by walking into 2 people. And your teammates are going to flame you for not fighting, but if you can't fight, there's nothing you can do. Except buy more regen. And if you don't have regen on the courier with this 180 gold, this is a mistake. Even if it works out, you're at 300 HP. Even if you survive, like your mid laner TPs in and saves you, you are useless at this point in the game. So
yeah, I agree with my game, man.
Kind of. Yeah. You can go Midas if your team isn't losing, but you need to be so far ahead that the Midas is going to actually help you. So we looked at your first death. You just didn't understand how Axe worked. Let's look at the 15-minute map control.
I just think I fundamentally didn't understand how DK worked from the safe lane. I think that was my issue.
I think he works the same in any lane. Like
normally if I play off lane, I just take the tower. I don't really think about I know that tower in the safe lane from like a Radiant, like the Dire off lane tower is pretty useless. Like I understand that. Like that's why I like playing DK safe lane. Like
so
I don't
let's
think much of that tower.
Let's say if this Axe was a Beastmaster or something who's going to take your tower.
Right.
Then you sitting here being unkillable and using your wave clear to remove it, that's okay.
Right. That's
but
okay, right.
There's more you could have done. Like as a DK, you'd rather be taking their towers than just defending. So the idea, no matter where you're playing DK, is you get your level 6. Doesn't matter what items you have. It helps if you have like phase boots or other damage or soul ring or I don't know anything else. But dragon form is damage. It's 20 extra damage and it does extra damage to structures. And then if you have any other skills max, then you can actually do something. Like Dragon Blood keeps you alive, so you max this as much as you need to be able to survive in the lane, and then you start going for your breath and dragon form so that you can actually do stuff. But you take this, you don't necessarily have to take the tower that you're fighting for, you just need to get people to TP, and then you can TP somewhere else and take the tower in like 20 seconds. Does that make sense? No matter which lane you're going to. So at 15 minutes, no towers have fallen, so you haven't made any huge mistakes, but the net worth is just...
No, I would say that was a mistake, actually, for not a single tower being pressured.
Well, yeah, but it's not the same thing where you've lost, like, these towers, and then you're about to lose this tower at 15 minutes.
Right.
So it's not as bad as it could have been, but you're not...
It wasn't the worst case situation.
Yeah. But your team isn't farming now. Like, your anti-mage is sitting mid. You could probably swap lanes with your anti-mage now that the axe has moved over here.
Right. I think there were more than enough rotations. Our team, I muted my team. I just couldn't
Yeah.
go with the team.
No
one was really communicating. I think they're all prudence.
So you're queuing up pipe? Why pipe?
I didn't go pipe, actually.
Okay.
I did not go pipe. But I thought, hey, I was like, disruptor. No, I didn't go pipe. That was stupid.
What happens with this death? Is this a death? Please don't be a death. Okay.
No, I don't know.
Okay. But notice how your survival is based on their slow. If they don't bring slows, you don't die, because you just get to safety. So if that was, I don't know, a Ricky with a diffusal who doesn't have diffusal, you would have died. Right? No?
No, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So we're on the same page about DK dying.
Oh, yeah,
You didn't have your ultimate, which is kind of scary, because that is like a panic button. It is...
Oh, so like run away?
Yeah, because it gives you move speed.
Yeah, it's nice.
And it doesn't give you extra HP.
See, my Nyx is just sitting there. I was so confused. I was just like, okay. You just sit there, dude. It's all good.
Dire's
no
middle
dust,
tower
or
is
whatever.
under attack.
Yeah, I'll teach
So now they're running at you, and this is a problem. Like it's
this was the story for the next 4 minutes as well.
yeah. So they're running at you, and your team's not doing anything.
But yeah, our line was pretty bad.
I don't know.
Mars-
I'm just thinking about what you should be doing. And you got a whole bunch of heroes on this side of the map, and that's good.
Right.
So what you needed...
What do I do here?
Yeah. Like, you're with your Nyx, and that's your damage. And if he's being useless, we talked about this with your Pudge, he's failed 3 times to actually participate, so we ignore him. He's not a factor. So who's your next source of damage that you can probably rely on?
Mars?
Mars is okay, and he's got his ultimate, so you can maybe make a play with the Mars. Or you can go with your Lion, who's also got a bunch of damage.
Yeah.
Who's got Finger. So you bring at least some disable, and you have 3 disables. You could kill basically anyone on their team as long as you have Dust.
Do I just abandon this lane, is what you're saying? Do I just leave this?
No, you shove the lane as hard as you can, and then you TP somewhere else as soon as they TP. And it feels bad to trade towers as a DK, because you take towers so quickly, but you messed up 10 minutes earlier by not taking the 10-minute tower or not taking the 4-minute tower, and you're using your ultimate defensively instead of offensively. So at this point, the only option you have left is trading towers, because you sitting here means they're just going to kill you anyway. So there's nothing you can really do. I'd rather not die and trade towers than die and give them my tower for free. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
I see.
Dire's middle tower has
And
fallen.
your Nyx is useless. Oh, but Mars is here.
Mars is
Mars is here, so we're chilling, but Mars is dead.
then Linus leaves.
Yeah.
Just keeping it loose.
Here, I feel like I did something wrong here because I could have killed him here. But I don't know. Maybe I didn't have a.
You don't have dust, but you got blink.
Really close. We get really close, but it's sad.
You're underfarmed. That's the only reason he doesn't die.
Yeah, that's why, right?
That's the only reason he doesn't die. But again,
Top
Blink
tower
armlet or
is under
something,
attack.
Maybe that would-
probably. That's plenty of damage, and you get extra regen from Dragon's Blood, so that should be okay, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think. It could
So, but what I'm thinking is, you ended up popping Dragon Form for some damage down here, and then it's a 115-second cooldown, and you're not using it for a tower. So you can use this to get kills, but you're not the kill hero for your team. Your kill combo, because Nyx doesn't exist anymore because he's so useless, is Lion and Mars. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I hear you.
So you are the tower threat. You should be under a tower taking it, especially if they TP 3 heroes to your lane. Like, you aren't a kill hero at this point. Because in order for you to kill, your kit requires you to use your ultimate, and you're not really good at doing that. It's just an option for you, especially if you build like damage items. What you're really good at is sitting underneath a tower with your armor and taking the tower.
Right.
So if they TP 3 heroes to try and kill you and you just leave, then you get a tower for free without having to buy any items. And then this Midas, it doesn't matter. Doesn't,
Philosophy of my heroes.
so, I don't know. It's just, you have to think about them before you play them. And if you don't think about them before you play them, then we come in and we do this and then you learn about it. But this is why you can't keep changing heroes every meta. Like, you can learn 1 or 2 new heroes per meta and like benefit from the fact that they're just broken. But
Yeah.
I think you need to play heroes based on what your understanding of them is. And then we're still sitting here, and there's a free creep right here. Maybe Anti-Mage goes to do it, but it's 17 minutes, and... Oh, he's got a Battle Fury. Okay.
Yeah, he had a battle fury, which I was like, okay, like I can give him that top base.
Yeah, I don't mind it then.
But his support's really underperformed.
Yeah, everybody was underfarmed, but I think your mistake were... once you hit 6, you didn't do anything for the next 10 minutes. And usually what happens when I'm playing DK is I take all their tier 1 towers,
Yeah.
and then I can't take their tier 2 towers, so I kind of just sit in their jungle and be unkillable, and then if they TP to me, then I'm like, that's whatever, I'm a DK. He's trying to farm Ancients, but he doesn't have armor. So he rushed a Battle Fury to get it at 17 minutes and doesn't have armor.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I mean, he recovered pretty well. It's just our team
Yeah.
was a little too heavy.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Oh, I
Invisibility.
get killed here. I don't know why.
The threat for you is you get called and then you get killed by, what's-her-face, Hoodwink. Or any sort of disable setting up the Hoodwink, and then your armor doesn't work. So. And they smoked onto you too, because there's a ward here.
Yeah, they just played way better.
Interesting.
Which fine happens.
So, I like that you went for Blink, because it lets you play aggressive with your team. But if you're playing DK, and you have plenty of kill heroes on your team, but nobody on your team does any damage to, like, towers until 20 minutes into the game when he gets, like, Manta or some other item, then you just need to skip Blink and go for something that lets you kill towers. I wouldn't mind if this was a Deso.
The blink?
Yeah. because it lets you kill towers faster.
Oh, the death zone.
Like if you had gone tower kill or like a survivability item, so maybe not BKB, but more HP, like armlet or something that
Yeah.
removes a slow or a silence. You're not really worried about it until Ricky gets defusal at 12-15 minutes, but he went Battle Fury, so you're okay. But what I'm saying is, this is your secondary job. Your primary job is kill towers, and if you can't do that, then you need to buy items to do your primary job. This
Sorry,
is
what's the primary job?
on DK. Take towers.
Take towers. Okay, right.
Yeah, if
Right.
if you're like a Mars, then first item blink, or if you're a Shaker, first item blink is good.
Yeah.
But your job here is to hit towers, make people TP to you, and then take towers so your anti-mage has more camps he can farm. But right now, all he's got is triangle farm.
The blink was bad.
Yeah, blink.
Yeah.
It's not
Not
bad.
hard.
It's not bad because your Mars didn't buy blink.
Yeah, it didn't feel too like it. In this game, it didn't feel that bad, but it wasn't like the best
Yes.
option that you're saying.
Like it's Mars's job to build blink, and then like he has some initiation. He can go invisible, right?
Yeah.
So he has some initiation, but it's not
Ability, yeah.
instant initiation. So it's okay.
I think that's what cost me the game actually. The blink. I think as a hero in this game, I didn't want to be the one going first.
Yeah, and you don't want to fight them because your teammates don't have any damage to follow up if you disable, and you only have one disable, and you have no damage besides your dragon form, and it's not even that much damage. It's not like a Leshrac nuke or something like that. It's just like I get extra physical damage. Woo! I'm a pseudo carry, So just hit towers. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that makes sense, man.
Any other hero you want to go over?
Oh, okay.
Because now you just kind of learned what DK does.
Yeah, actually.
What, do you have any other games? I'm gonna end the recording, but like
Yeah.
you said you play Mars, you play what's his face?
I haven't played